Because I don't think Crawford's going to put him away. And I think Canelo's a much better mover than people give him credit for. And I think Crawford will be hit more and hit harder than he's ever been hit before, but I don't think he'll go out or down.
Consistent with Terence Crawford's fight schedule over the last several years, where he's been pretty much fighting one time a year. That one time a year is clearly giving him a lot of time to rest and recover from his injuries.
Boxing fans, the world is holding its breath. Terence Crawford is stepping up to face Canelo Alvarez, a fight many said would never happen. But here's the truth, Crawford is carrying doubts, injuries, and a weight he's never touched before. Can he survive Canelo's power, or will this be the night his undefeated aura is broken? Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear changes everything. Boxing experts have started pointing out a big weakness in Terence Crawford's recent training clips. Analyst Gareth revealed that at first, he believed Crawford could beat Canelo Alvarez, but now his opinion has changed. As the fight gets closer, he thinks Canelo will land punches Crawford has never faced before. This shift in view shows that more and more people doubt whether Crawford can handle Canelo's power and survive at the highest level.
Early on, very close rounds in the first 3 or 4. We'll be divided on who's winning. I think Canelo will get going in the second third of the fight and land some big shots. I think Crawford will look good as well. Rounds 6 to 9, we'll be looking at who's getting ascendancy in the fight. Crawford will have weathered the storm of the big Canelo punches, countered himself, still close rounds. I think Canelo will push away and in my view will win the fight, because I don't think Crawford's going to put him away, and I think Canelo's a much better mover than people give him credit for, and I think Crawford will be hit more and hit harder than he's ever been hit before, but I don't think he'll go out or down, and if he does go down, he'll get up. I think it'll be a very, very close affair, and I think even if in those last 6 rounds Crawford's got Canelo's number in terms of movement and timing, I still think if it's very close in rounds, I think it'll either be a draw or a narrow points decision for Saul Canelo Alvarez that everybody feels is very controversial, and then they'll do it again. That's how I see it playing, and that's the plot, if you like, with the subplots in the drama of one of the biggest fights we've seen in Vegas since.
Gennady Golovkin's trainer gave a bold prediction, saying Crawford may not keep up his stamina in the heavier weight class. He believes Crawford could start struggling as early as round 4. The main issue is the sudden jump in size and extra muscle, which could slow him down. Since Crawford has never fought at this weight, the adjustment is massive. Carrying more weight can drain even the best fighters, making them feel heavy and frustrated. If Crawford can't manage his pace, he could run out of energy before the middle rounds.
Triple G's former trainer said that Crawford's gonna be quick in the first 4 rounds, but once Canelo figures him out and actually starts hitting Terence Crawford, in which Sanchez described as, quote, a huge truck hitting him, it'll be game over for Terence Crawford. He explained that Crawford may not have the legs for someone like Canelo in the 168-pound division. Sanchez also added that Canelo was eventually gonna be Crawford's endgame, then Crawford should have jumped weight divisions a while back. Now, Crawford could have technically done that after the Spence fight. However, his once-a-year fight schedule prevented that from happening.
There are also rumors that Crawford may have suffered a shoulder problem during camp for the Canelo fight. Although nothing is confirmed, the possibility itself has worried fans and analysts. Crawford usually fights only once or twice a year, giving him plenty of recovery time. But this quick turnaround hasn't allowed full rest, so even a small injury could carry into fight night. Shoulders are everything in boxing: speed, power, defense, and accuracy. Even a minor strain could slow his punches and reduce his power. Mentally, it could also make him hesitate against a dangerous puncher like Canelo. If the injury is real, this challenge becomes even riskier, because facing Canelo at anything less than 100% is a huge gamble.
Solitary training camp and in every single solitary fight, a guy that is as old as Terence Crawford, 37, 38 years old, is going to have some type of injuries. They're going to have some type of old nagging type of stuff, especially a guy that works as ridiculously hard as Terence Crawford does. That was just a matter of time before wear and tear is going to start going and things are going to start popping off and going wrong, right? Also, you can tell that the reason that this is kind of consistent with Terence Crawford's fight schedule over the last several years, where he's been pretty much fighting one time a year. That one time a year is clearly giving him a lot of time to rest and recover from his injuries and gives his body time to heal up. And as a result, okay, he's ready to go during fight time. So I wouldn't put too much on this. I would say though that if you're a gambling person, man, you should probably want to keep your money in your pocket for this particular fight, man, because this thing can absolutely positively go either way with between the two of these guys. Canelo Alvarez is an exceptional fighter, much bigger than Terence Crawford is, or been fighting at a much bigger weight class than Terence Crawford has been fighting at, and much more experienced at that level at 168 pounds. But Terence Crawford is just such a superb fighter and such an intelligent fighter in there that you can know that he's going to be coming there to fight, and he's got a significant chance to win that fight. Unless, of course, that injury is real. I mean, and it is significant and is preventing him from, really sitting down on his punches, because he's going to have to at a point in time with Canelo Alvarez is going to have to do something to get him up off of him.
Former champion Keith Thurman also shared his thoughts. He reminded everyone that even though Canelo Alvarez has lost before, he is still one of the most dangerous fighters in boxing. Every boxer has weaknesses, but that doesn't mean they are easy to use against him. Thurman explained that Canelo's experience, skills, and toughness make him a fighter who cannot be taken lightly. Losses have not weakened Canelo, they have only made him more complete. So, Crawford must perform at a level he has never shown before if he wants to overcome Canelo's size and quality.
An unbeatable fighter. That's fine. None of us are really unbeatable, right? But people got to understand this. Canelo Alvarez is not an unbeatable fighter. The question is, whoever he's fighting, we don't question what Canelo's going to do, right? We question what his opponents are going to do, right? It's not even really about Canelo. Canelo's going to show up as Canelo Alvarez, right? Ginger boy. So the question is, are you going to beat him? And are you going to beat him today? Like when fight night happens, is it you? And is it now? You ready to beat him now? He's not unbeatable. Maybe you can beat him, but are you going to do it? And are you going to do it now? You feel me? Because I thought Danny Jacobs was going to have a way better performance.
Danny actually performed well against Canelo, but he didn't take any chances. He was doing just enough to not get beaten.
And Canelo was feeling himself. Canelo had preparation. He had that head movement, losing to Floyd, this and that. He fought some flat-footed fighters. He got used to getting his head here and there and ducking down and then pulling out and spinning out and little tactics. I've never seen somebody make Danny Jacobs miss so many punches. It was highly impressive. I did not expect that, because of the amateur pedigree growing up with Danny Jacobs. I know exactly what kind of New York fighter he is.
The recent face-off between Crawford and Canelo shocked fans. Crawford looked bigger than expected, almost the same size as Canelo. Since Canelo was known for his strong build at higher weights, this surprised many people. Some think Crawford has successfully bulked up, but others say size doesn't always mean strength or stamina. The real test will be whether Crawford can carry that extra weight for 12 full rounds without slowing down. Looking big at the face-off is one thing, performing with that size inside the ring is another.
With that said, they're going to face off in an epic showdown. And the big talk, obviously, is the size difference, right? that Canelo Alvarez is much bigger than the smaller Terence Bud Crawford, who is essentially coming up from 147 in the minds of many. But really and truly, he's coming up from 154 because he actually had a fight at 154, a titled opportunity, his only fight at 154 last August when he took on Israel Madrimov, okay? And he beat Israel Madrimov, unanimous decision, to become a 4-division champion. But as you see here in this photo, and actually, obviously, we know Terence Crawford stands at 5'8", got a 74-inch arm reach. Canelo stands at 5'7" with a 70-inch arm reach. There's not a massive size difference at all whatsoever. Now, clearly, as you see, Terence Crawford clearly has on what looks like Balenciaga shoes, and we know they are extremely big shoes, and it make you slightly taller. And Canelo Alvarez has on flats. The thing here is, the more important thing is, not if Terence Crawford can take Canelo Alvarez's punches. It's not if Terence Crawford, is going to get bullied around the ring. The concern with the weight is how Terence Crawford carries it himself. Does he start to fatigue in the second half of the fight? Should he get to the second half of the fight?
Timothy Bradley Jr., a respected former champion and boxing analyst, gave clear advice for Crawford's strategy. He said Crawford's best chance is to attack early. Canelo usually gets stronger as the fight goes on, finding his rhythm and control. That means the later rounds will be more dangerous for Crawford. Bradley believes Crawford's speed, accuracy, and sharp mind can trouble Canelo if he applies pressure right from the start. He warned that the extra weight could tire Crawford out if he waits too long, so his safest path is to take risks early and try to end the fight before it reaches the later rounds.
Yeah, he can move a little bit, but yeah, he likes to come forward with that power. But you put him on his back foot. Let me tell you similar too. Remember, you know this guy named Usyk who put Fury on his back foot? Yeah, push the pace on him. Yeah, with volume, feints. Put Canelo on his back foot, Crawford. That's what you gotta do. You gotta put him on his back foot. Hell to the damn yeah. That's how you get it done, man. That's one aspect that you're gonna have to do. And hey, I would advise you to do it as early as damn possible. Do it as early as possible, because guess what? If you do that, you're gonna get control right away of the judges, right? They're gonna be looking at you. You're gonna dictate the pace. You're gonna dictate the flow of the fight. You gotta have him react to you, not you reacting to him. That's how you gain control of the fight real quick, real soon. Get active with that jab. You don't necessarily have to come out in a southpaw stance. You can come out in the orthodox stance. You know, what's the punch that always hits Canelo all the time? Easy work, the jab. Triple G was able to land his jab over and over. Floyd Mayweather was able to land his jab over and over. Bivol was able to land his jab over and over. You control him, you push him back, you walk forward. Anytime Canelo give you an inch going back, you take that inch going forward. That's how you gonna get this done. You gonna have to be brave, my man, Crawford. You gonna have to be brave. You gonna have to be on your P's and Q's when you walking forward as well, because he will snap back. He will snap back with them left hooks, right hands to the body, or looping right hands over the top, or even straight right hands. Sometimes he might even come with a two-piece combination. But you got to put him on his back foot as often as possible, man. With your how cerebral you are, with your feints, with your movement, snapping that jab.
Crawford's sparring partner, Al Stanton, however, gave a more positive inside view. He said Crawford's power and sharpness in training have been very impressive. Stanton explained that Crawford has been holding his ground against bigger fighters and adapting well to the heavier weight. For fans worried about Crawford struggling, this is good news. Stanton's words suggest that Crawford's natural talent and work ethic are helping him adjust without losing what makes him special as a fighter.
He's very good at kind of holding fighters, putting his weight on them. You're a big boy for 168, Al, so how did he manage and cope with that when you kind of picture Canelo doing that to him?
Nah, he's strong. That man is strong. He's strong. So I don't think he'll have a problem, you know what I'm saying, with that.
What do you think, from your takeaways from that sparring, is the key for Terence to defeat Canelo Alvarez?
Just use his skills. I think he has the better skills. And I say just box him, you know what I mean? Just box him the whole night.
Given your experiences with him, and as you mentioned, you know, he's strong in those sparring sessions, do you have no doubts then that when he's in there at 168, he'll feel fully fledged and capable of performing for those 12 rounds?
Yeah. For 37 years old, like, he's training like he's like 25. Like, I don't think there'll be no problem at all with the fight.
What do you think he has to be mindful of that Canelo can produce? What do you think he has to be wary of in that fight?
Power. That's it. It's power.